A single moment, that's all it took. In the final scene of the Season 7, silence took over the streets as a choice was made, a choice that might change everything. No music, just heavy breathing, a stare, a loaded gun. But this wasn't just an ending, it was a warning, a quiet one. So what really happened in that last moment, and what does it mean? Asterisk, the final scene of Season 7 doesn't explode, it lingers. And that's what makes it so powerful. The entire season was building up tension, relationships breaking down, enemies creeping closer and secrets bubbling beneath the surface. But instead of a big shootout or public showdown, the show ends with something smaller, something more personal. Yet more chilling. We see Emmett standing alone. The lighting is low, almost too dark to make out everything clearly. But that's on purpose. The shadows aren't just on the streets, they're around him too. His face looks tired, his eyes empty. He's not the same Emmett we met in earlier seasons. The weight of every decision, every loss is sitting on his shoulders. Then Kiesha walks in. She doesn't speak right away, just looks at him. That silence? It's louder than any scream. There's love there, sure, but also fear, doubt, maybe even regret. This isn't the warm, hopeful version of their story anymore. It feels like something's broken, and neither of them knows how to fix it. And then comes the moment people can't stop talking about. Emmett reaches into his bag, slowly, carefully, and when his hand pulls out a gun, the mood changes completely. He doesn't raise it. He doesn't point it. He just holds it, looks at it, looks at her, and the room feels like it's about to explode, not from action, but from the emotional storm underneath. Why is this so important? Because this moment isn't about violence. It's about choice. Emmett isn't deciding who to shoot. He's deciding who to become. Is he about to protect his family at all costs, even if it means going dark? Or is this his breaking point where he realizes he's already lost control? The camera doesn't cut to a new angle. It stays close, personal. You can feel every heartbeat, every breath. Kiesha doesn't beg him to stop. She doesn't cry. She just whispers, "This ain't you." And right there, the moment hangs in the air. He puts the gun down. No words. No music. Just that action. And the screen fades to black. Now, let's talk about what makes this scene so masterful. It doesn't scream finale. It whispers it. It forces the viewer to sit with the characters in silence, to feel their fear and confusion. The tension isn't about what will happen, it's about what could happen. That's the genius of it. The gun is symbolic, not just of danger, but of the power these characters hold, and how easily they could lose themselves. The writing here pulls from the entire season. Emmett has been trying to be a man of peace, a father, a leader, but every time he moves forward, the streets pull him back. This final scene shows the war going on inside him, not just around him. The music, notice how it stops completely? The silence is key. It strips everything down to just them. No distractions, no noise. Just raw emotion. Even the lighting adds layers to the story. It starts dim, then slowly brightens just a little when he drops the gun. It's subtle, but it says, "There's still hope." And finally, Kiesha's line, "This ain't you." It's simple, but it's powerful. She's not just telling him what she sees, she's reminding him of who he used to be, who he can be again. That one line might have saved him, or maybe delayed what's coming. In one scene, she tells us that the battle between right and wrong, peace and violence, isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a quiet war inside your own mind, and Emmett, he's still in the middle of that fight. Asterisk, in that final moment of Season 7, when Emmett placed the gun on the table, the camera may have zoomed in on him, but the impact rippled through every major character. It wasn't just about Emmett's choice, it was a turning point for the entire cast. This wasn't just the end of a season. It was the setup for who these people will become in Season 8. Let's start with Emmett, the man at the center of it all. Throughout Season 7, we saw him struggle to balance his growing responsibilities with his desire to stay out of the streets. He wanted to be a good father, a loyal partner, and a respectable businessman. But the deeper he tried to stay clean, the more the world around him tried to drag him back. The final scene was Emmett's breaking point. Holding that gun was more than just protection, it was temptation. It symbolized his fear, his anger, and his loss of control. But when he finally dropped it, it wasn't just a sign of peace. It was him drawing a fragile line between who he used to be and who he wants to become. The question now is, how long can he keep that line from being crossed? Next is Kiesha, who stood by him in the moment with more strength than words could. Explain. Kiesha's journey through trauma, motherhood, and healing has made her one of the show's emotional anchors. But in this scene, she doesn't just act as Emmett's support, she becomes his conscience. Her simple line, "This ain't you," cuts through everything. It's a quiet reminder of the life they've built, the family they've fought to protect, and the damage violence can cause. But her silence after that also hints at something deeper. She's scared, and maybe even unsure if she still believes he can stay away from that life. Her strength is clear, but Season 8 might push her to her limits, especially if Emmett starts slipping again. Then we have Douda, who doesn't appear in the final scene, but whose presence is felt heavily. Douda may not be holding the gun in that moment, but make no mistake, he's the reason it's there. He's the shadow looming over every choice Emmett makes. All season long, he's been manipulating people from behind the scenes, pulling strings, and making silent threats. Emmett's fear didn't just come out of nowhere. It came from knowing that Douda's power is real and closing in. The fact that Emmett even had a gun shows how deep Douda's influence has gotten. And in Season 8, Douda isn't going to sit back quietly. He knows who's loyal and who's not. And now, he knows Emmett is starting to resist. That sets up a dangerous power clash ahead. Victor, formerly known as Trig, is also deeply tied to the fallout of this moment. His entire arc in Season 7 was about choosing integrity over power, running for office, leaving behind the criminal world. It all looked like a path toward redemption. But that comes at a price. By trying to be a leader, Victor may have left old alliances behind and made new enemies. The tension between him and Douda continues to build, and Emmett's crisis puts Victor in a tough spot. If things spiral, will Victor try to help Emmett? Or will he stay focused on his clean image? The line between politics and the streets is thin in the Chi, and Victor might soon find himself dragged back into a world he thought he left behind. We can't forget Gemma, who's been caught between her future and her past all season. Her relationship with Jake is strained, and her attempt to find her identity as a manager and young mother has tested her strength. Though she wasn't in the final scene, she represents the younger generation that's trying to rise in a world still full of danger. Season 8 could push her to make difficult choices, especially if Jake starts slipping toward street life again, or if she feels her family is no longer safe. Her voice has always been bold. Now she might have to raise it louder than ever. Jake, meanwhile, has been drifting torn between loyalty to his brother, his friends, and his own dreams. He's no longer the angry kid we met in earlier seasons. He's smarter, but still vulnerable. The gun Emmett holds in the final scene is a warning to characters like Jake. This path doesn't end well. And Jake might be the one who needs to learn that the hard way. Whether it's through loss, betrayal, or survival, Season 8 could be his true turning point. And then there's the city itself, Chicago, which has always been more than just a backdrop in the Chi. It's a character. In that final scene, the silence on the streets wasn't just for drama, it was symbolic. The city is watching, waiting, testing every person who calls it home. And when Emmett drops that gun, he's not just making a choice for himself, he's challenging the cycle that so many before him have fallen into. But this is the Chi, and nothing stays peaceful for long. So what does the final scene mean for the characters? It means the war is far from over. It means trust is fragile. It means danger is closer than ever. And it means Season 8 is going to test everyone, emotionally, morally, and physically. They've all been running from something. But now, they might have to stand and fight. Asterisk, the gun was placed on the table. The room fell silent. But behind that quiet ending, there's one loud question ringing through every fan's mind: what happens next? Season 8 of the Chi is already being teased as the show's most personal and most dangerous chapter yet. And if you thought the Season 7 finale was intense, wait until you see what the writers are setting up next. Let's break down the confirmed details first. According to behind-the-scenes sources and early cast updates, Season 8 is already deep into production. Filming has taken place in Chicago's South Side, with new areas being explored. Hints suggest we'll be seeing unfamiliar neighborhoods, which means new power players might step into the game. Showtime insiders have also revealed that Season 8 will dive deeper into the consequences of past choices, especially those made by Emmett, Douda, and Victor. And yes, more emotional stories centered around family, fatherhood, betrayal, and survival. Now, here's where it gets interesting. New characters are being added to the cast. While names haven't been officially released, reports suggest a young community organizer will challenge Victor's position and influence. This means Victor's clean image and campaign might be threatened not just from the streets, but from someone playing by the rules. There's also mention of a new female antagonist, someone tied to Douda's past. This could shake up the power dynamic completely and add a much-needed layer of unpredictability. Now, let's get into theories and predictions based on how Season 7 ended. First, Emmett's silent decision to put down the gun doesn't end his story, it lights a fuse. Douda isn't the kind of man who lets resistance go unnoticed. With Emmett backing away from his protection, we can expect Douda to test him. Whether it's by hitting his businesses, threatening Kiesha, or dragging someone close to him back into the game, Douda's revenge could be slow, quiet, and dangerous. One theory suggests he might use Bakari, who's still struggling with loyalty and survival, as a pawn against Emmett. That could destroy more than just trust. It could cost someone their life. Kiesha's role in Season 8 will likely grow. She's not just Emmett's partner anymore, she's becoming his anchor. But anchors can break too. If Emmett slips back into street life, Kiesha might be forced to walk away. Or worse, she might become a target. Some fans believe Kiesha could be the emotional turning point next season, the one whose fate drives Emmett to either rise or completely fall. Victor's path is just as shaky. In Season 7, he took a bold step toward a better future, entering politics and leaving his past behind. But that clean slate might not last. Rumors suggest an investigation into Victor's past actions will open in Season 8. That could include his connections to Douda, past crimes, or secrets that never came to light. The idea that Victor could fall just as he's beginning to rise adds a powerful theme. Can someone ever truly escape their past? One major thread that Season 8 will likely pick up is the fracture among friends. With each character walking their own line between safety and danger, loyalty will be tested. Don't be surprised if relationships start breaking. Jake and Gemma, Emmett and Bakari, maybe even Kevin and his friends if he returns. The story might show how even tight bonds can be broken by fear, ambition, or survival. Now let's talk about fan-favorite theories that are gaining traction online. Douda's downfall will come from within. Not through violence, but through betrayal by someone close, maybe even someone he trusts completely like Marcus, or an unexpected ally turned enemy. A major death is coming. The show has held back on big losses recently, but Season 8 might not. One of the core characters, possibly Bakari or Victor, might not survive the next chapter. Kevin's return. Fans believe we haven't seen the last of Kevin. Some say he'll return older, wiser, and holding a secret that could shift everything. His return could balance out the darkness with a voice of reason or bring in a new layer of drama. Bakari's breaking point. He's been stuck between wanting to change and being pulled into crime. Season 8 might push him to his edge. Will he snap or become something more? And finally, there's the question of the endgame. Is Season 8 the final season of Chi? While nothing's confirmed yet, the way Season 7 wrapped and the scale of storylines teased for next season suggests that the writers are starting to build toward a big finish. Not necessarily the end, but a major turning point that could change everything. In Season 8, the Chi won't just focus on survival, it's going to focus on legacy. Who gets remembered, who gets forgotten, and who loses themselves trying to protect what they love. So whether you're rooting for redemption bracing for betrayal, or just hoping your favorite character makes it out alive. One thing is clear: the next season won't be about who holds the power. It'll be about who's strong enough to walk away from it. Asterisk, pain, silence, a single choice. That's how season 7 of The Chi ended. But beneath the silence, the story screamed something deeper, something about broken promises, unhealed wounds, and the thin line between survival and self-destruction. And now, as fans look ahead to season 8, what they're asking for isn't just more twists or action. They're asking for something more raw, more real, emotional truth. The She has always been more than just a drama about street life. It's about the human experience inside a chaotic world, about family, growth, heartbreak, and love. The season 7 finale reminded viewers that pain doesn't always show up with gunshots or explosions. Sometimes it shows up in a look, a pause, a moment of hesitation. That final scene with Emmett and Kiesha wasn't about who would die, it was about who they are becoming. And the themes hidden in that quiet moment say more than 1,000 words ever could. Let's talk about the theme of identity first. Every major character in The Chi is dealing with one big question: who am I now? Emmett used to be a womanizer and hustler, now he's trying to be a man of purpose. Kiesha was once broken by trauma, now she's rising as a protector and mother. Victor went from being feared on the streets to running for political office. But with every step forward, their paths follow close behind. In season 8, the fight won't just be physical. It will be internal. Can they truly redefine who they are, or are they always going to be pulled back into who they were? Then there's the heavy theme of generational cycles, violence, poverty, abandonment. These are things many characters have inherited without asking for them. But season 7 hinted that some are ready to break those cycles. Emmett putting down the gun wasn't just about saving himself. It was about his kids, his family, his future. It was a message: I'm not passing this down. That quiet resistance, breaking a cycle with silence instead of rage, is something fans deeply connected with. And they want more of that emotional courage in season 8. Love and loyalty are also central to the Kai's world. But this show doesn't give us fairy tale romance or perfect friendships. It shows love that's messy, complicated, and full of scars. Fans watched as Emmett and Kiesha fought for trust, Gemma and Jake struggled with truth, and even Victor questioned his own loyalty to his people versus his own future. Season 8 needs to continue exploring what love really looks like in a place where survival often comes first. Can love survive betrayal? Can loyalty survive change? These are the emotional questions people want answers to. Now let's look at symbolism, because The Chi has always hidden powerful meanings in its quietest scenes. In the season 7 finale, when Emmett places the gun on the table, he doesn't just drop a weapon, he drops a burden. The silence that follows feels like a breath the whole season was holding. It wasn't about action. It was about restraint. About fighting the urge to fight. And the lighting in that room? Dim, moody, uncertain. It reflected Emmett's state of mind. Man caught between fear and faith. Season 8 could continue using that kind of powerful visual storytelling. Maybe a cracked photo frame to represent a broken family, or a burned-down building to show that some things can't be rebuilt. Fans appreciate these small artistic details. They turn ordinary scenes into emotional punches, and while viewers love the drama, what they're truly asking for now is emotional payoff. They've invested years into these characters. They want to see Emmett not just survive but grow. They want Kiesha to be more than a supporting figure. They want her to rise. They want Douda to finally face the consequences of his manipulation. And they want characters like Bakari, Gemma, and Jake to find their place not just in the streets but in the future. Many fans are also hoping for healing. Not the kind that happens in one episode, but the slow, real kind. The kind that shows a character slipping up, breaking down, and then finding the strength to try again. They want to see therapy talked about, grief faced head-on, apologies made. The Chi has the power to go there, and fans are ready for it. At the same time, there's one more thing fans are hungry for: justice. Not just revenge, but real accountability. Douda has been playing puppet master for too long. And while viewers understand his complexity, many are hoping Season 8 will finally flip the power dynamic. Whether it's through Victor's rise, Emmett's courage, or even a new unexpected character, fans want to see someone stand up and win, not just survive. And maybe the biggest question of all, will the she give its characters peace? Or is peace just a dream too far away? In the end, what fans want isn't just more episodes. They want a story that honors everything these characters have been through. They want hope, but not the fake kind. The kind that comes after loss, after growth, after hard choices. Just like that moment when Emmett dropped the gun, they want the show to prove that sometimes not pulling the trigger is the most powerful move of all.